On a side note, I highly encourage you to read or listen to this book because the writer invokes nothing but authenticity between the day-to-day struggles of superiority and inferiority. Hello, you guys. Y'all doing good? I hope y'all are doing fantastic. Doing good, feeling good, all that greatness. We are back on the road. And thank you all so much to the ones who you left your comments under my community section. To be clear, that's not a truck that I have. In the near future, I actually want to purchase a W9400, 2007 or older, mid-roof, preferably international. And y'all gave me valuable feedback, and that's what it's about. I want you to be able to be, we all are entitled to our opinion, but be open, be honest with me when it comes to leaving your comments, because that's the only way we can honestly learn from each other and gain perspective and gain more understanding. That's what it's really about. So I appreciate y'all 100. Now this camera, I was trying to record and give better quality content because the megapixels is a lot more stronger on the camera than the phone. But editing on the computer is a different time consumption than editing on the phone. I like simplicity. Eventually we're coming with this because the time that I have when it comes to editing and getting my recordings together is normally on the weekends. Right now it is Saturday. I'm under a load. I'm going to leave as soon as I stop this, and we just gonna make our way further south. It's frustrating because I want to be able to be consistent with my channel, with my videos, but sometimes work calls. So that's that. It's been almost a month since I've been back on the road, and I feel different. I'm happier, as y'all can see, because I'm happy because I'm back in my truck. And for those who know, once you have your own anything, own land, home, you own your vehicles, like it's certain things that you have that just makes it feels different. It feels better. Granted, I'm not taking away the experience I experienced while doing a company gig. I'm not, but it's more so I had to do a lot of self-work, and in doing so I have a different perspective in being out here, you know, mentally, emotionally. Especially when I first started doing this, at first I wanted to do power only, but I'm someone, if I know that it's a possibility certain things may not work out, I have to have a plan A, B, C, D. I can be as optimistic as possible, but being realistic is a common goal. So with the power only not working out, I knew for sure I was wanting to do flatbed, because the flatbed was going to attest to bigger, better, positive, greater rewards in doing like certain oversized things. I did that flatbed. As y'all can see, one load. It took one load for me to realize physically it was too much for me. I was super lightheaded when I was on top of the load, trying to make sure everything was aligned within the straps and the equipment and everything, and it wasn't for me. To all those drivers, I commend you. Open deck drivers, step deck, tarping, chaining, like it's a different type of physical strength and strain on the body that it's not for everyone, especially in that South Carolina heat. On that day, it took one load. One load, and I went right back to the drive-in, and I'm cool. Stick with what you know, right? I'm cool with where I'm at. I wanted to like flatbeds so bad, but nah, I'm good. Would I try it again? I was encouraged to keep going, and then I was also it was also put in my mind that nah, stick with what you know, go back to what you know. And I had to do what makes me comfortable. I did drive in. If it was hazmat driving, that'd be A1, but I'm settling for what I have right now, which is cool. Dating and marriages in these times, there are so many distinctions compared to earlier years. So I've always had more male friends compared to my lady counterparts, even growing up. And I was having a conversation with a great friend of mine, known him since college days, 2011 and beyond. And he's happily married, 2 kids. His wife adores me. I have the utmost respect for her. And we were just going back and forth on certain things. And here's this post that he shared with me. He deemed it as cheating. I said it was inappropriate. I would love to hear y'all's feedback, because clearly, even when I posted it on Instagram, people had very interesting perspectives. You know, they elaborated on certain things that it made sense, but from my friend's explanation, he said it was cheating because when it comes to men have a different level of sexual arousal, right? So when a woman is bumping and grinding all up on a man, like he may be stimulated in a different way compared to a woman. So if he is aroused, he ejaculates, and it ends up going to like extreme measures to where it's shown as cheating. I didn't look that deep into it, but I would love to hear y'all's feedback again. So that was what he shared with me. I know for certain vasopressin is a male hormone that it is extremely heightened within sexual arousal. It plays a role within social behavior, a man courting a woman, mate selection, so on and so forth. And some men have higher level of hormones than other men. So I say that to say this. A man's hormones and a woman's hormones will differ on various levels, but at the end of the day, cheating is inexcusable. Some people try to justify it to a T, but it's one of the most selfish things a person can do, right? It shouldn't even be a topic of discussion if a person feels like they're not going to be able to be loyal or faithful to someone. You're better off being single, right? You're better off being single. But instead, a lot of people want the best of both worlds in a selfish manner. So the premise of our conversation, and this is him and I going back and forth, a person has to be able to like someone in order to really truly love them, right? As women, we have access to sex. As men, you have access to relationships. There's never been a situation to where I've been with someone and I ask them, hey, do you want to start going out? Do you want to actually be in a relationship? Never in my life. It's always been a man asking me. There's this term called the ubiquitous man. A man that's everywhere. A man that's for everyone. And that's like one of the biggest turnoffs for a lot of us women. It's going to be very hard to submit to a man who's for everyone, who a woman is always being vulnerable to him. And it's an uncomfortable feeling because, as what my friend was explaining it to me, a man's definition of love is fidelity. Why do y'all think as soon as you cheat on a man, or as soon as he finds out that there are other relations, whatever form of relations going on, he's out? It's no, but what if we can work things out? It's no trying to reason. He's out. He's out the picture because fidelity plays a pivotal role in how he sees his woman. As what my friend was saying, the definition of a love with women is protection. There have been times to where I'm not going to open up to a man or feel any type of vulnerability towards them if I don't feel safe or if I don't feel protected with them. I've noticed that. I see that, and it's true. So those are the only two words, right? Those are the only two words that link with love and each other. We could agree to disagree, but I would love to hear y'all's opinion, and that's that. He was also saying that when it comes to a relationship, if a relationship fails, it's the man's fault, right? Because he wasn't leading properly. He wasn't leading in an effective way. But of course, as a woman, sometimes a woman doesn't listen the way that she needs to listen. But also, it's in the same token of, if a man isn't really playing his part and doing what he needs to do as a man within his role, it's going to be hard for the woman to listen, especially if he's for everyone or anyone. But of course, a woman would know that instantly off bat before she decides to commit to him. There are so many flaws or so many imperfections that we all have that a lot of times people are truly searching for perfection and don't realize that we are all meant to disappoint someone at some time. That's just human nature. And I think a lot of people fail to realize that we come with flaws. No one is perfect. Sometimes we can accept the person for who they are and allow them to change or mature at their own rate, because we all have different levels of sensitivity and we all mature at different rates. Some people end up getting married to someone who was a habitual liar or habitual cheater, wanting or expecting them to change within the marriage. In all actuality, the signs were there throughout the dating stage. The signs were there throughout that courtship. And it's unfortunate, because that's how a lot of these marriages fail. A lot of these marriages, people are not equally yoked. People are not aligned within each other's souls, within each other's minds, within each other's bodies. A lot of people think that, oh, you possess certain qualities, yeah, automatically you're my soulmate. It takes much more to be someone's soulmate than a few qualities or characteristics that someone may possess, right? Being equally yoked is way more powerful than just, oh yeah, there's certain qualities about you that I think we're soulmates. No. Soulmates is so much deeper. Two people, two souls, one body in alignment. And it's very rare to come across that. It is. But again, I would love to hear you all's feedback, because in today's times, social media is one of the most unhealthiest driving force that has corrupted many of our minds into thinking that, well, with some women, as a beautiful soul shared with me, some women thinking that an IG model is what some men want. And in actuality, some men want that natural look. A woman who isn't out there, or who doesn't put herself out there, and who's more so reserved or conservative within her demeanor. I don't know what it is about me that people misconstrue or misperceive, but I myself, and like many other women, we know how to stay in a woman's place. Especially if we're presented with a man who he can properly lead. He has things about him that is like, oh yeah, you deserve certain type of treatment, or you deserve to be, you deserve to be treated a certain type of way. Every man doesn't have that, but some men overvalue themselves in a way that they shouldn't. They overvalue what they don't have. But it all goes back to growth, level of maturity, and us changing or being who we need to be at different times. We don't grow at the same time. We have to be able to either accept people for who they are, leave them where they at, and allow them to grow within their prime. So I would love to hear y'all's feedback on that. Many of us are aware, right? The more we talk to somebody, the more attraction, feelings, attachment that tends to grow. And what some men don't know is that if you hurt a woman, eventually we check out mentally. And then at some point we check out emotionally. It takes us longer to check out emotionally because as women, we invest so much of our emotions into a man, into certain situations. And at some point, we either invest it into someone else or we invest it elsewhere, right? But a lot of people fail to realize men lose themselves too in women. They be all head over heels, high over heels, and thinking that this woman is so different that, she's not going to do nothing to hurt me. It's life. People disappoint us to some degree, to some extent, because no one is perfect. People put up a facade each and every day. So I want you to be very mindful, especially if you're a man. There are men literally today who they go through these relationships and these marriages with 3 to 4 or 5 kids and end up finding out these kids aren't theirs. Just because she presents herself as this valuable queen, it don't mean she can't hurt you. So just be mindful. To leave y'all with this, there are typically 4 topics that make people uncomfortable talking about: politics, religion, sports, and death. Some people are uncomfortable talking about religious or spiritual practices because they haven't developed certain things within themselves, or they're just in denial, or sometimes mental illness plays a huge role in the case of religion and spirituality. Some people lose touch of reality because of mental illness and a combination of religion. You know, somebody asked me about, are you ready to die? And we live just to die. So in that case, I told him, I don't know if I'm ready more so, but I know for sure I don't feel like I've fulfilled certain things within my life to say, oh, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to check out. I accept things for what they are. You know, when the time comes, the time comes. So be comfortable in your skin. Confide in whoever you confide in, to where you feel like they don't toy with your vulnerability. And yeah, let the rest be set in stone. Do what you love what you do. Let it work best for you. Much peace and love to y'all. Y'all stay safe. I don't really share this with anybody, but a lot of what I eat, the way I eat, how I eat, it stems from my thyroid. You know, I can't have things that are overly concentrated in salt. It affects me in the worst possible way. And I had to make a quick trip to Best Buy because I needed some better quality headphones. I be going through headphones, but these are the ones I end up getting, and so far they've been pretty good. Share something with y'all really quick, and I promise I'm gonna leave y'all alone. Growing up, we wasn't allowed to date. It was a very strict upbringing, and I never knew how to be in relationships. I had to learn things as I went and teach myself certain things because of so many restrictions placed on us coming up. And all in all, we can't fault people for what they don't know. You know, we can teach them, guide them, and hope for the best for them, for a better outcome. And in doing that, for me, it came with a lot of heartache. It came with a lot of headache because I tried to figure out what a man would want, or how to appease to certain people. And like I said, a lot of stress it did. But at some point, I just never dated. I just never was in relationships because I'm thinking this is way too much to figure out, you know. But all in all, a lot of what I do know, it came from my traditional old-fashioned type of upbringing. My parents are in their 60s, and I came across this man who's 59 years old, and I was giving him advice, right? And he's ready to go to a lawyer. He's ready to end things. And the problem within his dynamic, he's been married about 15 years, been with his wife about 20. She wants to be the man in a relationship. That doesn't work. Even after 20, 40 years, she wants to mark her place as the leader, and it doesn't work like that. And I told him, you got to put your foot down. You have to be assertive, and she'll take you serious. For real, be assertive and mark your place. But we cannot fault people for what they don't know. So I just want to leave y'all with that. Yeah. Peace out.